Welcome to Sports Talk.
Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Nick.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Jackson.
From Top Notch Sports. Today we're going to be going over the Washington football team off-season salary review, where we're going to discuss what Riverboat Ron Rivera and defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio have up their sleeves this season. This year they worked very well together. I love this coaching staff. Big fan of Jack Del Rio, coming from the Raiders a few years back. I mean, the head coach of the Raiders a few years ago. And you got Ron Rivera. These two guys, defensive-minded guys, got a really young, great defense on their hands. Got a lot to look forward to. So let's hop right in where we'll have Jackson explain the first slide. Go ahead.
All right, how's it going? So first things first, this team's got $32.8 million to spend this offseason. They can get a lot done with that amount of money. Remember, these are the guys under contract, so some names that you would normally see on here are not on here. And then I also want to mention Deron Payne is not on here for the reason that if you cut him, you're not saving or losing anything. So we got Matt and Midas in there instead. Remember, these are the guys, green and red. Green is you cut and you're saved. Red is you cut and you lose. This team just went 7-9 and won the NFC East, but it's not like it was a bad 7-9. It was a pretty solid 7-9. They had a rough start and the end of the season hot. Played up the par against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ron Rivera, first-year head coach here in Washington, his first season here, did an outstanding job building this defense especially. I mean, look at this defense. You got studs all over the place. Kendall Fuller is a stud. Chase Young just won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Jonathan Allen's a stud. Matty Unitas. This defensive line is full of studs. Linebacker core is solid. You know, there's some guys you may want to look into replacing, and John Bostic and Hudson over here. Landon Collins coming off the Achilles injury. He's going to come back better than ever and be a great addition to this defense next season when he comes back healthy. Then over here on the offensive side of the ball, you got rookie running back Antonio Gibson, who played outstanding this season as a rookie. Terry McLaurin, again, has been a stud ever since he came in the league. Logan Thomas played pretty solid this year. And then Alex Smith, coming back from his leg injury, went 5-1 with this team and played outstanding, getting them to the playoffs. I got high hopes for this Washington team and Ron Rivera. We're just going to see what they do this offseason.
Absolutely. Again, this defense is very solid with head coach Ron Rivera. And again, I got to give some credit to Jack Del Rio for helping them build this thing the right way. When Ron Rivera was going through his struggles this year with cancer and all that stuff, the thing that was great was Jack Del Rio was right there to help him out and take over this team when Ron Rivera was not able to. Gotta love them. They have great communication together. They really built a solid defense. Like I said, this defense really makes me excited. And you look at the offensive side of the ball, a few pieces away from really being contenders. I mean, they won the division already this year. I feel like they can make a strong push. Again, need to upgrade this offensive line a little bit. Remember, Brandon Schreff is currently not under contract. So on the next slide, we'll see him under the notable losses. And I think you need to upgrade at the quarterback position to really make this team get to the promised land. So let's hop into the next slide where Mike will talk about the notable losses. Go ahead, Mike.
All right, so looking at the notable losses, first I got to always start off by giving great respect and thanks to our number man, Noah the Crowbar Thompson. He helps us a lot throughout with these videos. If it wasn't for him, this wouldn't be possible. So let's start off with the first loss would be Brandon Schreff, right guard. His expected salary is a 5-year, $55 million deal. And he played 78.6% of the snaps this year. This is a big piece for this team. And then we got edge Ryan Kerrigan. He's expected a 1-year, $4 million deal. He played 38% of the snaps, but he is effective when he is on that field. Constant duress to the quarterback. And then we got Kevin Pierre-Louis, linebacker. His expected deal is a 1-year, $6 million deal. He played 48.3% of the snaps. Then we got cornerback Ronald Darby. His expected salary is a 4-year, $40 million deal, and he played 95.8% of the snaps this year. Then we got wide receiver Cam Sims, 1-year, $3.5 million deal is expected, and he played 58.6% of the snaps. And then kicker Dustin Hopkins, who struggled this season, his expected salary is 1 year, $1.5 million, and he played 33.1% of the snaps.
Absolutely. So, again, usually you want to bring back the guys that play a high percent of the snaps because these are guys that are familiar with the system. You want to keep continuity going around, the chemistry, and just bring back the familiar faces. It really helps the locker room to have the continuity, the chemistry. everything. Just these guys right here. When you look at these guys that they're losing, you're going to see us bring back a few of the names. But someone like Ryan Kerrigan that only played 38% of the snaps, pretty sure he had 5.5 sacks this season. Like Mike said, he is phenomenal when he's on the field. Possibly losing him. We'll see what we do in the next slide with him. You got Ronald Darby, who played phenomenally well this season as well. So let's go into the next slide and we'll see what moves we make. Here you go under potential targets. The estimated cap space is $32.8 million. This is with the $185 million expected salary cap right now. You guys have $32.8 million. Estimated cuts, we're going to say none. Although we're saying a potential maybe restructure of Alex Smith's contract. He's supposed to make, I think it was, $13.6 million. Maybe if he lowers that down to $8 million, $10 million around there for you guys, that would be a really nice gesture. He's been through a lot, but I don't know if he's worth all $13.6 million, so we'll have to wait and see. Estimated signings, we're going to bring it back. Brandon Schreff on a 5-year, $55 million deal. Ronald Darby, we're going to re-sign him on a 4-year, $40 million deal. The only reason why we're bringing back Dustin Hopkins, we really don't know the situation at kicker right now. Maybe you guys get an undrafted guy. Maybe you draft one. Maybe there's one sitting in free agency. But we're going to bring him back on a 1-year, $1.5 million deal. You're going to sign Denzel Perryman, the linebacker, for a 2-year, $12 million deal. And why not take a stab at wide receiver John Ross, former 9th overall wide receiver, speed demon on the outside, bring him in on a 1-year, $4 million or we're going to say $3.5 million deal. I'm sorry, that's not updated. $3.5 million deal. With all these moves, it's going to be $32 million in total cost, which will put your estimated remaining cap at $0. Okay. That's what it's going to be after we have a mock trade over here. You guys are going to send a 4th round 2021 NFL draft pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars for Gardner Minshew. Be competitive. Be competitive. Compete with Alex Smith. Why not? Let's see what can happen. Now we look at our team needs this offseason, right? Your quarterback, maybe you go out, you trade for someone like Gardner Minshew for a 4th round pick, have him compete for that starting job. At wide receiver, you didn't draft in the 1st round Rashad Bateman and sign wide receiver John Ross. Get some more weapons for wherever the quarterback may be. Sitting where you're at right now, I don't see you guys being able to get a quarterback unless you want to take a scout on Kyle Trask. But again, when I do my scouting analysis, I'll have more information on how I think Kyle Trask truly is. I personally wouldn't rush the pick. At left guard, you guys can still draft one. At right guard, you guys re-sign Brandon Schreff. At middle linebacker, you guys can sign Denzel Perryman. At outside linebacker, you guys can draft one as well in the later rounds. And at cornerback, you guys can re-sign Ronald Darby. If you guys do this, it's a really nice mock free agency, mock off season for you guys. So we're going to go to the next slide where we're going to look at the expected 2021 NFL starters. Go ahead, Jackson.
So right here, we got $0 million here. $0. We got nada after we just made all those moves and the trade of Gardner Minshew. And I look at this team. First thing I look at is the quarterback position. Alex Smith and Gardner Minshew. Again, Alex Smith, phenomenal comeback story for him. Who knows if he can get the job done yet this season. Maybe after having a rested off season, some more physical therapy get done. But bring in Gardner Minshew to give him a little competition. And Gardner Minshew, I've been saying, I think he's a solid quarterback. Maybe in the right scheme, he'll do some great things. And then we're going to bulker up this wide receiver core a little bit. You know, it's Terry McLaurin and who else now? Now it's Terry McLaurin, Rashad Bateman you picked up in the 1st round. And then take a shot on John Ross. It's a solid move for you guys. Bring back Brandon Sheriff. We see Wes over here in the left guard spot in yellow. You can bolster up that left guard spot in the draft. Very solid draft this year for offensive linemen. So go pick up a left guard in the draft. Then we got Kalike Huston over here at linebacker, along with Denzel Perryman. So we see here where you're going to draft a linebacker and then put him alongside Cole Holcomb and Denzel Perryman, booster up that linebacker core a little bit. You got a solid front 7 for you guys. Pair up Ronald Darby again, re-sign him next to Kendall Fuller. You got a solid 1-2 punch over there at the cornerback position. Then Landon Collins and Jeremy Reeves, 2 solid safeties for you guys, assuming Landon Collins comes back from his Achilles injury and better than ever. This is a very solid team. Again, weak NFC East, but this team is definitely not weak. They can go out and get the job done under head coach Ron Rivera. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a very exciting offseason for the Washington football team.
Yeah, real fast, like Jackson was saying. So in green, you see the signings this offseason. Yellow's the placeholders. Orange is supposed to be the re-sign. Him and Brandon Schreff's not orange right now. That's by mistake. And yellow, like I said before, is the placeholders. So again, you look and see in pink, you got Gardner Minshew, who we're going to acquire by a trade. You still got to, like Jackson said, draft maybe a left guard, an outside linebacker, cornerback for depth purposes, and a safety, and you can plug them in however you want to. If you want to immediately, you're more than welcome. Mike, anything about this team before I wrap it up?
Like I said about the past three, if you watch the NFC East videos, it's anybody's division. This division is up for grabs. Teams are going to struggle, and it's going to be the best of the struggling teams that come out on top. And I could see the Washington football team being that team just based off of the defensive side of the football. They develop a solid offensive game. They can make a run. They can make a push even in the playoffs with that defense. If the offense can produce, that defense, the sky's the limit.
Absolutely. Wrap this up. Again, I truly think that this could be the team we see come out of the NFC East again. You got someone like Logan Thomas, who really showed up this year. Terry McLaurin, who looked like a stud. Antonio Gibson, I'm a big fan of. This offensive line is not the worst, right? You got some good pieces here. I think your only issue on offense really is figuring out that quarterback position. Whether it's Alex Smith, whether it's Gardner Minshew, whether it's you guys trade up and draft somebody. Again, we got much more coming on this channel. Scouting analysis. We're going to cover the free agency for you guys first. The free agency coming up. We're going to cover that for you guys in about 20-ish days. Then we're going to do our scouting analysis and then mock drafts. So wait and see what we might have you guys doing on this offensive side of the ball. Your defense, as everyone here has already stated, is phenomenal. Right? You might got to figure out your outside linebacking position for you guys. Maybe figure that out. Maybe draft a safety for depth purposes and a cornerback. But your front five right here, these guys right here, absolutely phenomenal. Cole Holcomb plays very good. Denzel Perryman, this would be a really nice acquisition for this defense. Guys, I'm a big fan of this team. I love your coaching staff and Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio. Excited to see what this Washington football team can do in the 2021 NFL season. I'm going to leave it there. Let us know what you guys think. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for much more content on Top Notch Sports. We'll see you guys soon. I'm Nick.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Jackson.
And we are Built Better.